So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce our new head football coach, Sam Pittman.
I'm so tired of hearing about where we've been. That don't make no difference. It don't make one bit of difference to me. It's where we're headed and where we're going.
If you don't love wearing that damn Razorback, get out. If you don't love this heat, get out.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to our first edition of Razorback Football with Sam Pittman. We are glad you're with us. Game week has finally arrived. As you can tell, we are socially distanced. A season like no other is about to begin. And, Coach, just to get to this point, just to get to the point where we're talking about a game on Saturday, that seems like a victory in and of itself.
Oh, it's really exciting. You know, there's so many ups and downs to get to this point. For our kids to be able to come out here and play in front of our fans. It's going to be exciting.
Now, we are inside the Razorback game day locker room where all the preparation on game day is going to happen. And, Coach, your players, they've wanted to play so bad. They've done what they needed to do to get to this point. And there's a reward for them just being able to go play a football game.
There really is. You know, we've had some grad transfers and some guys like that. You're going, man, they're going to transfer and not get to play, you know, and for our seniors and the freshmen coming in, everybody. We're just can't wait to get out there.
And I wonder what it's like for you as a head coach, the head coach of the Razorbacks now. It's got to be a little bit, well, maybe a lot different for you during game week.
A lot of things, you know, nervousness, excitement, you know, making sure we're doing all the right things, making sure we're prepared. A lot of things going through my mind right now.
We've got a lot to do during the next half hour, as you might imagine. We've got a football game to get ready for. We've got previews of the Razorback offense, the Razorback defense. We're going to talk to the new coordinators. So stay with us. More to come on Razorback Football with Sam Pittman.
Razorback Football with Sam Pittman is brought to you by Pepsi. Nothing goes better with watching Razorback Football than an ice-cold Pepsi. Pepsi, proud sponsor of Razorback Football. By Ford, the Ford F-150, the official truck of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Built Ford Tough. Farm Bureau Insurance. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. Stevens, capitalize on independence.
Nachos come with rules, like don't take the fully loaded chips, don't hog the guac, and never take the last one. But with the $5 Grande Nachos box from Taco Bell, you can break all the rules, because this meal's all yours.
There are memberships for all kinds of things today. But what about being a member of the family? What about being a member of the community? What about being a member of humanity? What if there was a membership that gave us the time to celebrate the things that connect all of us?
In insurance, it's our job to handle storms. And though coronavirus is a storm different than most, the agents, adjusters, and employees at Farm Bureau Insurance stand ready to extend a hand, love our neighbors, and work earnestly to serve our customers and communities. Our mission hasn't changed, so our work does not stop. If you need us, visit afbic.com to reach your local agent or call our 24/7 claims hotline. Be safe, stay healthy, keep Arkansas strong.
This segment of Razorback Football with Sam Pittman is brought to you by Dillard's, the style of your life.
We're glad you're back on Razorback Football with Sam Pittman. Let's talk about the offense. Kendall Briles is Arkansas's new coordinator. And Coach, before we get into the nuts and bolts, just what led you to Kendall Briles?
Well, I always wanted to have an offense that had an option of the quarterback being a runner. And obviously watching Kendall's offense when he was with his dad down there at Baylor and things of that nature, I love that style of offense. And coming from Georgia where we didn't have that mobile quarterback, you have to block them all and sometimes you don't have enough. The quarterback kind of evens the playing field a little bit, and I wanted to do that, and Kendall had that in his offense.
You're a physical guy. You've been a physical coach from the moment you began. The physicalness of your offense, is that the identity you want?
That is the identity, and to me, that's the only way you can play the football game. And the SEC is an offensive and defensive line game. That's what it is. That they're one up on the line of scrimmage. Even with a fast-paced offense, you have to be physical. And so that's obviously what we're trying to do here and what we're all about.
Obviously, transfers are part of the college football landscape now. One of your captains, Felipe Franks, a transfer into the program. That's different, but yet for young people, for kids, they acclimate to one another pretty quickly.
They really do, and that's why it's such a great team sport. You know, there's 120 guys in the locker room, and they all welcomed in Felipe, and he's done an outstanding job. And I was really, really excited for him when the team voted him as a captain, especially not being able to have spring ball, but just the way he carried himself through the COVID time early, and now certainly towards practice and through practice. Quite an honor.
Being able to run the football, that's, at least it has always appeared, where it starts in this league.
It is, and to me, you can't score in the red zone if you can't run the football. You can't get out of it backed up if you can't run the football. Basically, you can't win a whole lot of games if you don't have a possibility of running the football consistently. And so that's obviously where we started here. We start every day after individual with team run, and that's, to me, that's where you make or break your football team.
Well, as we mentioned a moment ago, Coach Pittman went out and hired Kendall Briles to be the offensive coordinator. Razorback great Quinn Grovey had a chance to sit down with Kendall, and this is their conversation.
Today we are joined by offensive coordinator Kendall Briles. Tell us a little bit about your background, where you grew up, and coaching experience.
Texas guy, so grew up in Texas all my life. My dad's a Texas high school football coach, so was around football my whole life. Got recruited, played at University of Texas, went and played there, played safety for a couple years, and my dad took a job down at University of Houston, so went down there, redshirted, set out a year because NCAA, and played quarterback and receiver. Had a good time, got an education, met my wife down at U of H. So actually, when I got out of coaching, I went and built homes in Houston. My dad took the job at Baylor and said, hey, if you want to coach, now's the time. And was there for a while. We were there 9 years and had a lot of success, won a lot of ball games. Went out to Florida Atlantic for a year, went to University of Houston, back to my alma mater for a year, went to Florida State last year, and here at Fayetteville now. So kind of traveled around. Hopefully we put some roots in here.
How did you and Coach Pittman get together?
I actually was just driving home on a Friday one day, and I called somebody and said, hey, can you give me his number? He answered the phone. We talked for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and 2 days later I was on a flight out here to come meet him and spend about 15, 16 hours with him that day. So I feel extremely blessed to be able to work for him and give him my all and hopefully get him to where Arkansas needs to be.
Has there been anything that surprised you about moving here to Arkansas?
The fans. Yeah. Fans are powerful here, and had never experienced, had never been up here. And now I can see why. I've always heard if you can get guys on campus, then you got a great chance to get them. And you've heard that. And now you know the fan base is extremely strong. I don't know if there's a better one in America. So hopefully we can ignite them and get them going if we can play some football here.
You've been around a lot of great quarterbacks as well. Is there a type of quarterback that you're looking for when you're out on the recruiting trail?
I want a guy that wants to be here. I think that's really important. I'm not huge on having to have the 6'4", 6'5" guy. I think in today's world, it's such a space game and get the ball out of your hand game for what we do. Then I think all playmakers are capable of being very productive. Always look at whether that guy wins or he does not win. So got to have a guy that's consistent on a daily basis. And there's a lot of other things that come with it. But we definitely want guys that want to be at Arkansas.
Coach, what do you like to do when you're not coaching?
Family time. I'm a family guy. We got 3 healthy children. We're really, really blessed to be in that position. And I'll tell you what, we've had a little bit more time this spring because of, the situation, but mainly just spending family time, put some meat on the grill and hang out.
Now, when you grill, is it charcoal or is it gas?
You heard where I was from, right?
I got you now.
Hey, I brought the pit. I brought the pit and the wood. That's how we roll, man.
That's what I
got a big smoker, and if I get a day off, then I'll throw on a brisket and do it right.
Coach, man, it's been great. I want to thank you for hanging out with us for a few minutes. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Appreciate it.
All right, Coach.
Thank y'all so much. Go Hogs.
Razorback Football with Sam Pittman is brought to you by Downstream Resort. Enjoy the ultimate entertainment getaway as you live every moment at Downstream Resort. By Taco Bell, proud sponsor of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart. And by Vold Vision, the official eye care provider of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Make the most of summer with Ford, America's best-selling brand, during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Shop our huge lineup of SUVs and the largest selection of truck inventory to choose from. And get 0% APR financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. The Ford Summer Sales Event, helping you make the most out of summer. Now get a 2020 F-150 XLT 4x4 with 0 for 72, or up to $11,056 in total savings. Only at your local Ford dealer.
When did too big to fail replace too smart to fail? When did trend overtake truth? When did putting clients first stop being second nature? For us, never.
You can't take a risk in any investment that if it goes wrong and you lose it all, that you endanger the ability of the firm to survive. And that's really what Wall Street forgot.
So when do you want to learn more about Stephens, one of the country's most successful investment banking firms?
Love where you live and play at an apartment, community, or golf course managed by Lindsay Management Company. Affordable apartments with community amenities including golf courses, fitness centers, tanning beds, playgrounds, and resort-style swimming pools at select locations. Are you looking to buy or sell your home and want an experienced agent to guide you through the process? Lindsay & Associates has been serving the community and bringing great neighbors together for over 45 years. Lindsay, #1 in apartments, golf, and real estate.
For me, when it comes to being a successful strength coach, first and foremost, you have to know what you're doing. You got to have the science behind you. You got to have the education. You have to have studied, and you have to know what you're doing so you can put these guys in a safe position. You know, that's the most important thing to me, a safe environment that's electric, that's just an environment that's nurtured for these guys. In this room, you have to be able to have relationships with these guys. You got to be able to reach them in certain ways that other people can't. You know, there's going to be times when you got to get guys to push when they don't feel they can push or they may not necessarily want to.
I'm proud of you. We love you.
In every program in America, the strength staff has the most time with the guys. You know, we're responsible for their development. So it's something that I've never taken lightly. And again, we go back to the relationship aspect. We like to get to know our guys here at the University of Arkansas. When I see guys, I want to ask them questions. How are you? How's your family? I want to know about the other aspects of their life. So every day, my staff and myself, we're constantly talking to these guys about things outside of what they do on a daily basis. It's important to understand that a championship mindset is huge. It's one of the most vital pieces of any individual, the way they go about their business. because it changes your life. It changes your approach. It changes the way you go about your business. If you can compose a team where the majority of those guys are driven by that championship mindset, you're talking about having a team of guys that are constantly getting after it together, that are constantly pushing each other, high levels of competition. And I believe that it carries over directly to your performance on Saturdays because you're more prepared. To me, one of the biggest benefits of our room is the weight room, due to the fact of how big it is. It's a massive room, it's 120 yards. We have the space to do whatever it is we need to get done. I feel extremely fortunate to work with Coach Pittman. The most impressive thing about him is the type of man he is, the way he carries himself. You know what you're gonna get from him, you know what kind of man he is, and he's very direct in his communication. So at the end of the day, I always know what he wants to get accomplished. He wants the big guys up front to be able to move the line of scrimmage. I know that. So I'm training the guys to make sure they got great lower body strength, to make sure the guys have great explosive power, because I know what type of identity we want to have on the field on Saturday. Since we've arrived, we've seen these guys continually grow mentally and physically at such a high rate. There's such a high passion in the room. There's such a high drive to be better. There's such a high drive to be great in this room, you know, and all we're doing in this room is setting our culture, the Razorback culture. That's all we're trying to do. A culture where we push hard, strain, care for one another, love one another. And it's a room that's built on love, trust, and commitment, truly. And every single day these guys come in this room, they give a max effort. They give everything they got.
Razorback Football with Sam Pittman is brought to you by Cox, proud sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Visit Cox.com for exclusive offers. By Dillard's, the style of your life. Lindsay, #1 in apartments, golf, and real estate. And by Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart.
There are memberships for all kinds of things today. But what about being a member of the family? What about being a member of the community? What about being a member of humanity? What if there was a membership that gave us the time to celebrate the things that connect all of us?
Here's another challenge.
Dad, what are you doing?
I'm TikToking. Where can you find something crunchy, melty, and only $1? It's Taco Bell's $1 Nacho Crunch Double Stack Taco. Order ahead and pick yours up at our contactless drive-thru.
Independence, the ability to think freely. It allows you to tell truth from trend, to put clients first, to take the long view.
We're privately owned. We don't have public shareholders, and that's the very significant difference between ourselves and other firms.
Since 1933, independence has made Stephens one of the country's most successful investment banking firms. Feel free then to learn more about us.
This segment of Razorback Football with Sam Pittman is brought to you by Bold Vision, the official eye care provider of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
As we welcome you back to Razorback Football with Sam Pittman, we have to note the Razorback staff. You heard from Kendall Briles a little bit earlier. You're about to hear from Barry Odom as we talk about the defense. And Coach, to be able to hire someone like Barry Odom to coordinate your defense, that had to be a real coup for you, I would think.
It really was, you know, just the quality of man he is, and obviously he's a very knowledgeable guy. I've known Barry for 20 years, and so that certainly helped us get in the door with him. I know he was courted by a lot of different schools, but we're very honored, very happy he chose the University of Arkansas.
What makes a good defense for you? I think people, they think of you as an offensive line coach. Obviously, you're a head coach now. What constitutes a good defense? What do you want your defense to be?
Well, you want it to be physical. You want one that can run. You want one that has relentless effort, the ones that are dying to get to the ball carrier. Those are things that Barry Odom believes in as well. And so you have to have some type of multiple fronts. You have to make it difficult on the offense. And Barry brings all those things, and we have the players that can play multiple fronts.
It does, as is the case with the offense, as we discussed a little earlier. That defensive front is, in this league, what it's all about. And you alluded to it there. You've got players there. You got guys anxious to be coached and anxious to play.
Yeah, we have size. When we run out there, we look like an SEC team should look on the D-line, with Xavier Kelly and John Marshall. Those guys are big guys. Julius Coates was also brought in, Dorian Gerald. There's so many guys that we have on the D-line right now that look and run like SEC football players. So I'm excited to see them play.
Secondaries get challenged every week in college football. Yours will too, and that's another area where you've got some possibilities.
We do, Jerry Jacobs, McClellan. Obviously in the back end you have Catalan. Slushers came in and done a nice job for us. There's so many different guys out there. That Brooks at a nickel, Henry as a nickel. Those guys, again, we've got to continue to recruit big guys, even on the back end, but these guys can run. I'm excited to see them play.
I think we'd all agree it's good to have Barry Odom on our side now. Quinn Grovey had a chance to sit down and talk to him, and let's listen to that.
Today we're joined by our great defensive coordinator, Coach Barry Odom. Coach, tell us a little bit about your background, where you grew up, and your coaching experience.
The longer that you're in it, you realize it's such a small, close fraternity of people that you've crossed paths with over the years. And that's, one of the reasons I'm here at Arkansas, because of Coach Pittman. And I met him years and years ago when I was a high school coach. And even before that, he was maybe recruiting me a little bit. I think I got a questionnaire from Coach. It wasn't really serious, I don't think, but I've known him a long time and had a lot of respect for him. And years and years ago, I grew up in a small town in Oklahoma, graduated from Ada High School, and from there went to the University of Missouri as a student athlete, played linebacker and had a great defensive line in front of me. I still hold the record for the number of missed tackles in a career, so I'm trying to get that page removed.
Well, you were a running back right off the bat, and then they switched you to linebacker. I mean, what happened there? How did you go from running back to linebacker?
We were really good my senior year in high school. I only scored 39 touchdowns my senior year. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I was recruited and went and played running back, and I made it 3 days in practice at running back. So anyway, I walked over and I walked in the door. I walked in Coach's door, and he looked at me. He said, "You're Odom, right?" "Yes, sir, I am." And he goes, "Hey, you're going to linebacker this afternoon. We think you're a better fit there." And I said, "Okay." And I sit there and looked at him, and he goes, "Okay, the meeting's over. Go." And I started out. There's like no discussions. Like, "Hey, you're going to linebacker." It turned out great. I ended up starting 6 games, I think, my freshman year, and then every other game from there. So they knew where I was supposed to be.
You could coach anywhere you wanted to. Why Arkansas and Coach Pittman?
Well, number one, I believe in Sam Pittman, and I believe in the things, not only what he's going to do here, but the way he's going to run the program and the things he stands for. And I wanted to be a part of that. And I trust him. I know the values that he carries into work every day, and I wanted to be a part of that. I also wanted to be part in building this program back, and where we're located, the conference that we're in, it's right where we need to be. And it's going to take time and effort and strain and grit and all those great things. And the tremendous thing about that is we control that. It's going to happen. It's going to take some time, but it's going to happen. It's going to be done the right way. The opportunity here within the state, being the only Division I school, I mean, we're the show, and we've got to get it right. We've got that opportunity, and I'm so excited and honored to be here.
Well, Coach, man, this has been awesome, man. I've enjoyed, talking with you, and you've been great.
Thanks so much. Go Hogs.
Razorback Football with Sam Pittman is brought to you by Arvest Bank, member FDIC. Taco Bell, proud sponsor of the Arkansas Razorbacks. By Ford, the Ford F-150, the official truck of the Arkansas Razorbacks, built Ford tough. And by Farm Bureau Insurance. Farm Bureau, go with the home team.
There are memberships for all kinds of things today. But what about being a member of the family? What about being a member of the community? What about being a member of humanity? What if there was a membership that gave us the time to celebrate the things that connect all of us?
Make the most of summer with Ford, America's best-selling brand, during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Shop our huge lineup of SUVs and the largest selection of truck inventory to choose from. And get 0% APR financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. The Ford Summer Sales Event, helping you make the most out of summer. Now, get 0 for 72 plus $2,000 open bonus cash on a 2020 Expedition. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Well, now it's game week. Now the stomach begins to churn a little bit more. There's the promise of a 3 o'clock kickoff against Georgia on Saturday. And Coach, I wonder about your football players in a week like this. You don't have to say much to get them motivated, I wouldn't think, but fine-tuning your product and getting ready for a game. How important is that this week?
Well, I think last week we had as good a practice as we possibly can for that week. This week right here coming up is going to be exactly what you said, fine-tune, little details, all those things. This formation, what does Georgia do? This defensive front, what do they do? All those things. We have to be ready to play the game before the snap of the football. That's what this week's about.
You know them well. What do you expect from Georgia Saturday?
Big, physical, talented. The team's won 36 games in the last 3 years. They're a top 5 team in the country. That's where they deserve. Looking forward to go out and competing against them.
Coach, good to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
3 o'clock, the kickoff time on Saturday in Fayetteville, and we'll be back to talk about it next week on Razorback Football with Sam Pittman.
So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce our new head football coach, Sam Pittman.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield IMG College under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Arkansas. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Arkansas and Learfield IMG College. This has been a presentation from Learfield IMG College.